It is now my joy to invite Domenico to come forward and tell us a little bit about one of our main neighbors, Madison School. Welcome, Domenico. Thank you for being here.
Good morning. Thank you for the invite. First United Methodist Church of Olympia has always been my neighbor. I live 3 blocks away from here, and I work just across the road at Madison. I have to say that I've always been very impressed with FUMCO as my neighbor and as a neighbor in this community for the work that they have done and for very often being the voice for those that don't have a voice. So I recognize that, and I thank you for that. So my hope is that after this little presentation, which is just 3 to 5 minutes, I'm told, maybe, that you'll have a little idea about, more about Madison, our vision, our dreams for the school, and our hopes for the future, and how perhaps, as a faith community here, you can support Madison. Just a little bit about myself. My full name is Domenico Spatola-Knoll, which is quite the mouthful. I think twice before I sign a check because it takes so long to write it. My students do call me Mr. DSK. I do answer to that. I'll also answer to Domenico. And in fact, some kids sometimes do call me Domenico because I'm actually their physical neighbor. We live on the same street. So they go, Domenico, oops, Mr. DSK. So it's all right, it's all right. So, my accent probably gives me away. I grew up in England. I was born in England, and I was born to a family of immigrants who did not speak English. And I'm going to cut a really long story very short. So when I started school, I did not speak English. My family did not speak English. They did not know how to access the system or how to advocate for their child and for their family. My family was a family that had no voice. And as a child, I struggled. I struggled at school. I struggled with many aspects of being a kid and being in a culture which took me a while really to get to understand. So I find myself here in the United States of America as an immigrant myself. However, I speak English. My experiences as a child and as the child of an immigrant have shaped me and influenced me and guide me in my work. It's a huge and awesome responsibility to be the principal of your neighbor's child. I have to look at them in the eye, and I have to do what I can to provide each child at Madison with a quality educational experience. However, having said that, I also know that every child, there's 4 things I think that they want, they need. One is they want to be happy. There isn't a single child or adult that wakes up in the morning saying, you know, today I want to be miserable. We don't. We wake up in the morning, it's a new day, it's fresh, and we have such high hopes for the day. Each child goes to school wanting to feel safe. There's a lot of scary stuff out there in the community. There's a lot of things that are out of their control. But school can be a safe place for them. Every child wants to experience some success. They want to learn something or be good at something. And we want to try and do that for our kids at Madison. But I think, to me, most importantly of all, is that every child wants to be loved. They want to be seen. They want to be noticed. So what do we do to help our kids be happy, feel safe, experience success, and be seen? And that's where we, I think, as neighbors, where we are called to action. We do have a lot of kids that are in poverty, and parents do ask for food vouchers, and we provide those. Those are provided by the Olympia Foundation from donations. We also have kids that need something there and then at school, and I don't have anything in my budget that permits me to buy an unending supply of snacks for kids. So something like a box of crackers or goldfish can be helpful. You find yourself going to the supermarket and there's a box of crackers on sale, think, hey, I can get those, bring them to Madison. You just drop them off at the front desk. We can always use snacks. Every day, there are children that come to the office, can I have a snack? I'm hungry. And you want to say to them, well, you know what? It's going to be lunch in about 45 minutes. Can you wait? I don't want to do that. It's hard to wait when you are hungry. And you send them back to class and they're hungry. They're not going to be thinking about the math facts that they have to work on or the essay that they're writing. They're distracted. We have kids at school that are distracted by virtue of the fact that they don't know what they're going to go home to. They don't know if they're going to go home and have dinner. They don't know if they're going to be in the same place. And for some kids, they don't even know if they're going to be in the same parking lot because they're living in a car. There are stories of families, there are situations that I know of, but I also know that there are many families out there that haven't shared with us their story. So the person that I'm interacting with today may not or may have a need that I don't know about. So what do we do? We have a lot of families that are in poverty. Just because a family or a student is in poverty doesn't mean that they can't learn or be successful. But what it does mean is that their day can be distracted for all those things that I've mentioned. And they don't engage in the work, they don't learn. I'm pretty successful. I have a job, I'm a principal. I have several credit cards. I have access to credit. Every now and then my car breaks down and I have to take it to the shop. Okay, not a problem, I can pay for it. But throughout the day, I'm thinking about my car. I wonder if they've looked at it yet. I wonder what's wrong with it. I wonder how much it's going to cost. And I'm just thinking about my car. Every time I think about my car, I'm not focused on my work. Imagine what it must be like for those kids that have so many challenges that they have to deal with. So I ask myself again, what can we do? Well, we can provide the snacks. I can provide an environment at school that is safe. We have rules and we have expectations. I know that some of you listened to my Monday morning video. You've seen it. I hope you're entertained by it. But we talk about Madison lion cubs, where the lion cubs being always respectful, always responsible, and always really, really safe. We try to provide that safe environment for the kids. Being seen, being loved. How do we demonstrate that to a kid? Oh, I see you. Yep. Oh, there you are. No, it's a lot more than that. It's relationships. And I can do something for my students and they can say, sure, you're doing that because you're the principal and you get paid for it. Okay, I can understand you thinking that. But the power of a member of the community coming in, somebody who does not need to be there, somebody who will sit down with a student and listen to them read and praise them for that. That individual one-on-one attention says, hey, you know what? I see you. I value you. I value this school. I don't need to be here. I'm here because I am your neighbor. I care about you. That raises a child's self-esteem no end. That kid will have another reason to want to come into school tomorrow because there's a possibility that someone is going to be there to be their reading buddy, or maybe to come into the classroom and help them with math facts. Some of the other ways that FUMCO has helped Madison, and I'm truly thankful for, are the student back-to-school supplies. We are the only school in the district that does not give parents a list of back-to-school supplies. We go out to the community, we get donations, and we provide them. I believe that a public education should be free, and I do believe that for some families, the back-to-school list is a barrier. I had a mom, last day of school a couple of years ago, she enrolled her kids. The building was empty, and I gave her a tour of the building. She'd be starting in September. And we got to the conference room, and I said, oh, this is our conference room. I said, right now it's just filled with school supplies, because we provide free school supplies to every single family. And she goes, you mean I don't have to provide back-to-school supplies? I said, that's right, they're all free here. She broke down in tears. What I didn't know was that this family had escaped a domestic violence situation in another state, and they had come to Olympia, and all they had were the clothes on their backs and the car. Up until that point, I did not know the mother's backstory. I didn't know what that family was going through. And that goes back to what I said previously, that sometimes we don't know who needs our help. FUMCO has also helped with the holiday store that we have. For those of you that don't know, it's like a little store that we do with trinkets and things for kids that they can purchase with their Madison tokens, their little DSK dollars, and then bring a gift to their parents over the holiday season. So you've helped with donations for that, and you've also helped with staffing for that. Reading buddies, you've come in, there's several of you that I recognize for having helped with reading buddies. That's a great program. And then the other thing, and I think this was around COVID time, there was a banner that you had outside FUMCO, and I have to say, I did quite literally stop in my tracks as I was driving down Legion to read it, because you held us in your prayers. And we all know the power of prayer. So I thank you for that. So if you have if you'd like to chat with me more about ways that you as an individual can help Madison, to help kids be happy, to help them feel safe, to help them feel successful and loved, I'd be happy to chat with you about that. I'd be happy to come in again in an evening if you have some groups that come in and meet. You may also sign up for our weekly newsletter, which goes home to families. The reason for that being that you might see something in there that I haven't mentioned and go, ooh, that is something that maybe I can put my time or talent or treasure into. And again, you'd have my email address. You could respond, hey, Mr. DSK, I noticed that your school is doing this. Can I? And the answer usually from me is yes. So that's it from me. I know that the thing said 3 to 5 minutes. I probably went a little over. Will you forgive me? Okay. So I thank you for your support. I thank you for being my neighbor. And I look forward to seeing you out and about within the community and the neighborhood. Thank you.